I'm encouraged by the strong gains that we're seeing in our economy, and I continue to be a strong advocate for our downtown and the investment that we're experiencing. It's truly remarkable what we're witnessing.
And what we're witnessing is growth. Within the last 10 years, Fort Wayne's population has increased by several thousand. There's been a surge of downtown development with everything from Parkview Field to a new hotel, downtown condos and apartments, restaurants, businesses, and the list goes on. With so many more possibilities on the horizon, how do you envision Fort Wayne's future? I'm Tara Brantley, and that's the question we're asking tonight in a special Focus 15 that takes us out of the studio and puts us right here in the heart of the city. We'll focus on projects that are currently underway, like the new Ash Brokerage headquarters, the Randall Lofts apartment building, and ways to utilize Fort Wayne's rivers, as well as the city's new Envision Fort Wayne Center, solely designed to get your ideas on riverfront development. Tonight, you'll hear from city officials and residents just like you, who are sharing their visions as we envision Fort Wayne.
Community, commitment, coverage you can count on. This is Focus 15 on Wayne TV. Here's your host, Tara Brantley.
One of the most ambitious projects to hit downtown Fort Wayne since Parkview Field is taking shape right here on the corner of Wayne and Harrison Streets. The Ash Brokerage building is going to change Fort Wayne's skyline. Here's a look at the plans. What currently stands as a parking lot bordered by Wayne, Harrison, Berry, and Webster Streets with Cindy's Diner on the corner is undergoing a $98 million transformation. The area will soon become the new headquarters for Summit City-based Ash Brokerage, the largest independently owned brokerage agency in the country. I talked with Ash CEO Tim Ash about the project. Much of this is privately funded. How much is it costing your company, and when do you expect to see a return on that investment?
We are going to invest up to $29 million in our portion of the project. And I answer the return question a couple of different ways. Most people look to what's my financial return going to be, and we're looking at it completely differently. The financial return is a byproduct, we feel, of doing something great for the community. And we look at the return it's going to have on the development of our people. We look at the return it's going to have on the community in and of itself, where there will be hopefully more businesses and restaurants and other firms wanting to come back downtown like we're doing. And the financial return will be a byproduct of us doing those first two things I just mentioned correctly.
Ash will occupy 95,000 square feet of office space and serve as the centerpiece of a project it is sharing with real estate development company Hanning & Bean. Hanning & Bean is investing $30 million to make this a multi-use development with 80 apartments, 10 to 14 condos, and 6 streetfront townhouses, plus space for other businesses as well. Bill Bean is the vice president.
Between the apartment, the row houses, the condos, and the penthouses, we feel there will be approximately about 125 to 135 people that will be living full-time downtown Fort Wayne as part of the project. So the live aspect is very important. The play aspect is very important. This project helps incorporate both of those. And with the jobs, I mean, that's the work part of it.
In addition to construction jobs and others that will be generated by this joint project, Ash plans to boost its workforce by at least 100 by the year 2017.
Well, we employ currently about 230 people in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
And of the jobs that we're going to add, they're going to be in many different areas. Technology, sales support, finance, application development. We're doing a lot of work in the social media space and a lot of marketing and brand awareness. So those are some of the jobs that we're going to be adding as we expand.
And to top off this project, a garage with 1,200 parking spaces and a green roof, plus a bank that's announced plans to set up shop.
Lake City is pretty much committed to putting in a branch of their banking there.
The final piece of this $98 million investment is coming from the city. You'll hear more on that in a moment. Developers hope to have this entire project complete in about 2 years.
Once we break ground, I mean, it will be nonstop from that point forward. So I think that the hope is that sometime end of 2015, first part of 2016, we'll actually have people living and working.
When you bring a lot of people into a downtown area, you create energy. And when there's that energy, then that's what inspires other people to get involved. And so I think you'll see a lot more activity, a lot more people walking, a lot more people wanting to visit and come downtown. And that's what it's going to bring. And especially when you have people that are going to be living downtown, they're going to want to have other amenities that are here that are going to create, whether it's the coffee shops or hopefully, I've heard talks of there being grocery stores and things like that downtown. So I think you'll see a big lift in just the overall enthusiasm about our downtown.
Of course, the city of Fort Wayne is a major player in this project. Joining me now is Fort Wayne's Director of Community Development, Greg Leatherman. Greg, thanks for talking with me this evening.
You're quite welcome.
This project is generating a lot of excitement, needless to say. What type of economic impact is this going to have in terms of the city downtown development?
When this project is completed, we'll have close to 300 people working downtown that aren't working downtown today. Probably 100 new units of residential living that will be occupied by people that will be on the streets coming to and from, probably shopping and eating. There'll be a lot more activity downtown. So that's the immediate impact of this project.
How much is Fort Wayne investing, and how is that going to impact taxpayers?
The city of Fort Wayne's investment is pegged at $39 million. All of that is either new taxes generated by the project or existing taxes that are already being collected. So there are no new taxes to the citizens of Fort Wayne to do this project. Our investment is primarily in acquiring the land and building the garage necessary to supply the tenants of the building.
Well, that's good to hear for taxpayers.
That's correct.
Now, regarding Cindy's Diner behind me, this has been a long time fixture in downtown Fort Wayne. What lies ahead for the restaurant?
The restaurant, we have reached an agreement with John, the owner of Cindy's Diner, to relocate the building approximately a block and a half north of here to the corner of Maiden and Berry, Maiden Lane and Berry Street. We've already started to prepare the site for them. It will take about a month or 5 weeks or so to prepare the site, and then the diner will move from this location to that location, and John will be happy to serve all of his customers from just basically a block away.
A block away. Okay, Greg, thank you for talking with me this evening.
You're welcome.
Now, of course, when you're trying to develop a robust downtown, you need more than just a few housing developments. I'll take you inside one that's currently under construction when we come back.
Focus 15 continues. Now let's get back to your host, Tara Brantley.
Housing is booming in downtown Fort Wayne, and I'm not just talking about the Harrison condos at Parkview Field. A number of projects are currently underway, and I am standing right in one of them, the Randall Lofts on Harrison Street. Joining me now is the Deputy Director of Community Development, Heather Presley Cowan. Heather, thanks for talking with me this evening.
Thanks for having us.
So much is taking place here. Describe the transformation that is currently underway here at Randall Lofts.
You know, transformation is the perfect word. You know, when we envisioned what the downtown would be like with the Blueprint Plus, the plans for the ballpark, we really knew that people would want to live downtown, and this type of development is exactly what we wanted to see in downtown, an adaptive reuse of an old building.
Now, speaking of the old building, let's pan up a little bit and look at all the various things that are taking place. A lot of construction underway.
Yes.
This room is actually one of the ones that's pretty much intact now and almost complete.
That's right.
Are there any incentives that are in place for people who would like to locate here?
Well, you know, what we did was actually we designed the project with financing tools that would allow people to find affordable rents here.
Okay.
So many types of incomes live here in Fort Wayne. There are a lot of people who work downtown. The rents in this building range from $350 to about $850 a month. So you see that really this is very affordable living in downtown.
Okay, now speaking of downtown, got a great view of downtown right here out of the window, but this is just one of a number of developments that are currently underway. Tell us about some of the others.
Well, you know, we had this building started with a developer looking to do 44 housing units in downtown. Okay. They had such a demand, 182 on their waiting list as of today, that they're actually looking at doing a similar development over on Superior Street. Okay. So Superior will be similar to this, but no restrictions on basically the incomes or the rents, and we're going to see just as gorgeous adaptive reuse of an old building.
Okay, so we've got this project underway. We've got another one on Superior possibly underway.
Of course, there's Harrison Lofts, the Harrison Street property. Right. There's property west of Harrison Street that we look to see housing on next year. We've got housing in West Central going in, developments happening everywhere in downtown.
Timetable?
Well, we basically, Randall Lofts will come on board this summer, and Superior Lofts will get started later on this year. The property west of the ballpark will happen sometime next year. Okay. And we've got West Central single-family detached kind of rental housing going in throughout this year and probably leasing up in the fall.
And if people are interested in these properties, do they contact the city?
Well, they can definitely call, they can call the different developers who are in charge of these projects. The city really, all we're there for is to make sure that we pave the way for them to be able to do what the market wants them to do.
Sounds good. Heather, thanks for talking with me this evening. Thank you. Coming up, Three Rivers, countless possibilities. Your ideas on Riverfront Development when Focus 15 continues.
Now here's more Focus 15 with your host, Tara Brantley.
What are some things you would like to see in terms of downtown development?
I really like the baseball stadium. I think that's great. I wish there were more activities downtown for kids to do, though. I have a teenager that's 17, and I have a 6-year-old, and they kind of get a little tired of just the zoo.
Maybe a grocery store, places to shop, like they used to have Nobsons, J.C. Penney's, and everything. Now, since the malls are closing up, you still got to go out far to shop and everything. So I'd like to see it all come back downtown.
More upscale restaurants as well.
With Three Rivers converging here in downtown Fort Wayne, city leaders are busy exploring all the possibilities they provide. The city's first ever Riverfront Development study is currently underway, and there's a new center specifically designed to get your ideas on developing the city's rivers. It's called Envision Fort Wayne, and Pam Holliker is in charge of the study. Let's go in and talk with her now. Pam, thanks for talking with me this evening.
Oh, certainly. This is an honor and a privilege.
Thank you. Good to see you. Okay, this center has been in place now since the end of March. Have you really gotten any ideas from residents on ways to develop the city's rivers?
Yes, from not only citizens, but we've had 2 new tech classes come in, actually 4 new tech classes, and we've gotten a lot of ideas from them too. Everything from activities on the river to actually some of the new tech students came up with an idea for a block to have museum site where you not only have Science Central, but you would actually have like high tech and computer gaming, and that be a museum. So we've had all kind of ideas: residential development, park spaces, active and passive park spaces. A lot of people want to be able to use the rivers a lot more: pontoon rides, dragon rides, you name it. More bridges across the river, very ornamental bridges, zip lines across the river and around. So we've had a whole gamut of ideas. Beaches, either alongside or on the river. So hard and softscapes, just if you name it, we've had those ideas.
Okay, so with so many ideas to choose from, is the city really focusing on developing something in particular that they know they want here in place?
Not yet. Okay. There are so many areas on the river, alongside the river, and around the river in this particular study area, that there is probably an opportunity for every type of development.
Okay.
Meaning from parks to buildings, from residential to additional eateries. I know Halls on the River has been so popular. A lot of people want more of those things. So we don't have any specific ideas yet because we're trying to generate community support and also to get their ideas. And every time we have spreadsheets full of the ideas from this center, from our website, and as soon as we get those ideas, we shoot them right off to the consultant team. And there's 5 actual teams that are working on this project. So.
Okay, so we have all these ideas. How long is this study going to last?
We're hoping it will be concluding at the end of December and into January. Well, we will have a big celebration of kind of the results of the study.
So once you celebrate the results, what's next?
What's next is implementation. We're actually hoping that by the time the study ends, that we will have already started to implement some of the things. It may be river cleanup, because now really to enjoy the river, there have been lots of volunteer groups that have been working to do that. But how do you really manage that it takes place on a daily basis? A lot of other riverfront communities have done that. So hopefully, with some of the recommendations, we'll have already started.
Interesting ideas. Pam, thanks for talking with me this evening.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Coming up, of course, when you're talking about downtown development, you have to talk to the leader of the city. I'll sit down with Mayor Tom Henry after the break. What would you like to see here in downtown Fort Wayne?
As a younger person, I feel like I need to see a little bit more retail. I feel like that'll generate a little bit more activity downtown, because obviously if there's stores downtown, people are going to want to go there and buy things.
I'd like to see more stores and more room for tourists, like more attractions.
Well, we would like to see more people and more stores that, chains that, like it was a long time ago. It would be nice.
So we've talked about downtown's changing landscape, which includes new businesses, new housing units, parking, and riverfront development. What else lies on the horizon for the city? I sat down with Mayor Tom Henry to find out.
Well, I think what most people are asking for now is retail.
Okay.
They'd like to have some more stores to do not only basic shopping, but they'd like to see a pharmacy downtown if possible. They'd like to see a grocery store, those types of retail operations. We couldn't do that until we had a critical mass downtown. And now that we're getting people moving into the various housing components that we have with the new apartments and condominiums being built, now retailers are beginning to take notice. They wouldn't come downtown until there were more people, and as we get more people, they want retail. So it's beginning to get some traction, and we'll get there shortly.
How do you think that all of these developments will lead to further developments down the road? What do you see on the horizon?
I think we need to keep this momentum going. We've recently worked with University of St. Francis and with Indiana Tech in some development that they're having. The potential for the University of St. Francis right in the heart of our city as far as bringing in more and more students, I think that's really going to be quite a statement for downtown, to be able to offer post-secondary education opportunities right in the heart of our city.
Let's talk more about that then. Do you think that the colleges, because they're investing in downtown Fort Wayne, how do you think their growth is contributing to the look and feel of downtown?
For a lot of cities, downtown is simply the government centers, the courthouse, banking, lawyers, and that's about it for a lot of cities. What we're trying to do here is to offer additional venues. Post-secondary education, we think, has a tremendous opportunity in downtown Fort Wayne for growth. The University of St. Francis is going to bring roughly 300 or 400 students initially. My hope, my desire is that enough students come down where maybe some housing for them might become available, either through a dormitory type of environment or additional housing for college students through the private sector. But I think that in and of itself is going to make quite a statement for our community that we do offer post-secondary opportunities downtown. Also, I think retailers will perk up too and take notice of the fact that we've got more young people downtown.
The Envision Center has been in place now since the end of March. What's the feedback you've gotten on that so far?
It's slowly coming around. For those people that are using it, I think they really appreciate the fact they can walk there because many of the visitors that they've had are people who work downtown. So they can just walk from their office to Envision and talk to them about what they think should happen as far as riverfront development. So it's been a little slow, but now more and more people are talking about it. The word's getting out, and I think as summer comes in, the weather changes, I think we'll see more and more.
If there's a word or a phrase that you could come up with to describe what downtown is experiencing right now, what is it?
It's probably an overused word currently, but I think it says it all, and that's momentum.
Okay.
I think our downtown has tremendous momentum going for it. Again, a number of housing opportunities are beginning to gel. Retail's beginning to talk to us. We're talking to some additional restaurants. I just think that right now the opportunities are endless. We can only stop at our own lack of imagination for downtown. I'm very, very excited. The Riverfront study, which should be done in about a year, I think that's going to say a lot too as far as additional opportunities. But our city is on a roll. I've never seen anything like it. I've been in Fort Wayne all my life. The positive feeling from our citizens, the momentum not only in downtown but throughout our community that's going on is absolutely tremendous. We're the envy of a lot of cities in this state. I'm not so sure that we're not the envy of cities in the Midwest. Our unemployment is dropping. We're dropping lower than the state, certainly lower than the national. A lot of positive things are happening in Fort Wayne, and we need to keep that rolling.
With so many opportunities for growth, it will be interesting to see what materializes in the years ahead. Of course, Wayne TV will be here to keep you in the know. Thanks for watching this special on the road edition of Focus 15. I'm Tara Brantley.